another sunrise, here the day comes. To another song for when tears fall down. There's nothing puts a mind at ease unless there's something within, wonder whether you found peace. In the sunrise, here the day comes.
Better believe the truth will surface. So many people have prayed for justice. Look at the time that's passed. Where in the hell are the facts? Giving the guilty a pass. Look at the face of an angel. Look at the people that tap at the touch. Bringing my city together with love. Through the pain, see your name, sing your song. Tabi's right here, never gone. People angry, secrets in the dark. Standing in this empty park. Tears are falling over broken hearts. Hope this song will keep a family strong.
Your lives have changed since the day that she went away. I pray your family will find peace in some way. I know it's hard to cope. Hope feels like a broken road. Through the darkest days, you're not alone. That's why you're hearing Tabi's song. So just
say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabi's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes, say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabi's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes.
how do we continue living without those we love? When in times of need, sometimes we just need a hug. Wish I had the words to say to make you feel more happy. Cause now that your world is different, there'll be no one like Tabi. That's how we feel. Now everybody's
Singing Tabi's song. Light your candle, see your smile. You were not alone, you were not alone. Know your heart is aching and that time don't really heal. Put your faith in God has kept you safe and always will. Something about this empty park just don't feel the same. When it's pouring you might see an angel when it rains. Something about this empty park just don't feel the same. When it's pouring you might see an angel when it rains.
With you, how we miss you. It's so much harder these days than it was with you. Blow you a kiss too. Say see you later, never goodbye. Cause when the tears start flowing, Tabi's by your side.
Say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabi's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes, say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabi's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes. Just sing her song. Just sing her song. Just sing her song. Even when the tears start falling, just sing her song. Even when the tears start falling, even when the tears start falling, just sing her, say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabi's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes, say her name, sing her song. Even when the tears begin to fall, Tabi's with you, never gone. Keep on praying, God won't let who did this off. Justice ain't that far away, but until that day comes.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you again to LOS 105 for creating that song for Tabi and for giving us permission to use it on the channel, and to Indie Archive for creating that beautiful, beautiful video. We're going to begin or continue with chapter 4. I'm doing chapter 4, which will be a shorter video. And then next will come chapter 5. And that also will be a shorter video, easier to upload, so that all of you can get this information quicker. Chapter 6 is very lengthy, so I'm going to have to do that in a couple of parts. But I will get that done and get that out as quickly as I can. So let's continue. Chapter 4, the investigation. Almost exactly 12 hours after Tabi's body was removed from Cicero Creek on October 5th, law enforcement was already hot on the trail as it pertained to leads. At about 2:20 a.m. on October 6th, Detective Frawley received information that a 20-year-old Atlanta man by the name of Tommy Nelson had information about what took place leading up to Tabi's death. Nelson alleged that on the night of October 3rd, 2002, he had a conversation with John Yates at Yates's house about the murder. It's important to note that this interaction was outlined by Yates in the pre-examination interview before Yates's polygraph test, where an expert concluded that Yates had been fully truthful in the statements he gave that day. He told me at least 5 times that he hurt a girl really bad. And then after that, he told me that him, Wes Miller, and Liz Balser, and another name that I can't remember, that they left some girl laying in a ditch, Nelson said. And when they left her lying in the ditch, did he say if she was dead? Whether she was dead or alive? Frawley asked. He didn't say anything about being dead or alive, Nelson replied. Nelson reported that he was at Yates's house at about 8 or 9 p.m. that night when the conversation took place. If he did hurt her, like he said he did, where do you think that happened at? Or where do you think they would have started at that evening? Frawley continued with questioning. I think that would have took place at Liz Balser's house, Nelson surmised. What makes you think it was at Elizabeth's house? Frawley pried. Because Liz is a lesbian. She probably liked her. And Frawley interjected, liked who? Tabitha? Tabitha. And they just wanted her to be over there so Liz could try to get with her, Nelson said. Frawley then asked Nelson if he was doing cocaine during the conversation at Yates' house on the night of October 3rd. Yes, I was, Nelson admitted. Although no one else was present at the time, Yates purportedly told Nelson the story. Nelson's brother, Robert Nelson, and a female named Mandy Amon were at the residence earlier in that day. They participated in the cocaine, Frawley asked. Yes, Tom Nelson said. Frawley then quickly switched gears. Okay, he said. Do you think Jonathan Yates is capable of hurting someone? Yes, Nelson said. And you kind of smiled when you said that, Frawley replied. Why do you say that? Nelson said, because he's always talking about killing his enemies, buying a gun. He has a foot-long knife in his room and a couple of other small knives. Does he own a gun? Frawley continued. No, he doesn't, Nelson said. Frawley went on to ask Nelson if he felt that the story that Yates told him was the truth. Yes, Nelson said. Would he have any reason to lie about it? Frawley added. No, Nelson said, seemingly matter-of-factly. Based on your knowledge of perjury, Tom, do you swear and affirm under the penalties for perjury that the statement that you have just given is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, Frawley said. Frawley asked. Yes, Nelson said in his final one-word answer of the interview. That same day, a 28-year-old Kokomo woman named Teresa Arbuckle, came to the Tipton Police Department to give a statement regarding an odd phone interaction with whom she believed to be Balser. Arbuckle told Detective Stout she was an employee at Little Daddy's, a gentleman's club in Kokomo, and was working the night of October 5th. When she fielded a call from a female asking to speak with Desiree N. Green, Balser's mother. It's not clear if that was an alias for Balser's mother, whose name at the time of the murder was Linda Moss. Arbuckle stated that she believed the caller was Balser, and that the caller stated that they had found Tabitha killed in a creek and indicated that she was responsible. The caller then abruptly hung up the phone when Arbuckle advised her that she was not talking to Desiree N. Green. Detective Scott Purdy of the Kokomo Police Department filed the supplemental report on October 10th regarding an undercover operation of sorts that wound up not being as fruitful as authorities had hoped. Purdy reported that on October 7th at about 9:30 p.m., Sergeant Dave Galloway requested his assistance regarding the murder investigation. Galloway had been contacted by an employee at Little Daddy's who informed him that Balser was en route to the club, and that Balser told the employee that she needed to get something off her chest. Frawley had contacted Purdy in the days prior to October 7th to inform him that Balser was being considered as a suspect in the murder. Galloway requested that Purdy be en route to Little Daddy's with Detective Bruce Rood. Detective Rich Bessinger had already made his way into the club, and Detective Ron Brown was also en route to the club to assist Benzinger. The plan was for Brown to place a tape recorder inside a locker in Little Daddy's locker room, while Purdy and Rood were to stand by outside of the building in an unmarked vehicle in case Balser left the property. Brown exited the building at about 10 p.m. and gave Purdy and Rood a mini cassette player that had a tape in it. Brown told them it was going to be used to tape the conversation between one of the employees and Balser. Purdy and Rood then gave Brown another monitoring device and monitored the conversation from outside the building. Purdy then reported that he had listened to both audio tapes that were used in the taping of the conversation, but unfortunately, the volume was extremely low on both. Purdy attempted to listen a second time with the aid of an amplifier, but could not make out any of the conversation, except for a short segment in which I hear a female denying that she had anything to do with Tabitha Rain's death, and that Tabitha's husband knows she did not do it. On October 7th, at a little after 6 p.m., a female by the name of Melissa Chandler contacted Tipton Police to inform them that she had a friend named Renetta who worked at Miller's Mary Manor, located just a few hundred yards from where Tabi was eventually found. While on a work break on the backside of the nursing home at approximately 1 a.m. on October 3rd, Renetta said she witnessed someone dressed in black running by the woods behind the nursing home. That time would have been approximately 2 hours after Bush claimed the murder took place in the park. 6 hours later, in the early morning hours of October 8th, Tipton resident Justin Smith came to the Tipton Police Department with information. Smith told Chief Gordon Taco that he had heard Yates was the individual who pulled the trigger, and added that Kyle Neff, Amanda Pratt, Wes Miller, and Michael Raines' cousin, Paul Vasquez, were involved. Taco also fielded a call later that day from a female who refused to give her name, but stated that she was at the Tipton County Park Festival a month earlier when she heard Tabi and Amanda Pratt's last name changed to Neff after she and Kyle got married, arguing over a matter of $60. Apparently, Tabi had fronted Pratt money for pills that were never delivered. The caller stated that after Tabi left the area, Pratt made the comment, "I'd kill that bitch if I could." The caller also stated that a few weeks after the festival, Tabi had told her that she and Pratt were still fighting. At 4:25 p.m. that day, Derek Boyd arrived at the police station with more information. Boyd told Taco that he and two males named Dwayne Frazier and Matt Glover were in the city parking lot next to Mosier Jewelers and the Diana Theater in downtown Tipton on the night of October 2nd, when they observed Yates' red truck stopped at the traffic light at the intersection of Jefferson and Independence Streets, about a block east of the town square, where scores of youth enjoyed hanging out in front of the courthouse. Boyd told Taco that Yates was driving and that Balser was in the front passenger seat, while Tabi and a female he believed to be Lindsay Groves were present in the back seat. According to Boyd, Yates and Balser both spoke to him with the window of the truck down and added that Balser stated she had previously spoken with authorities and seemed worried and scared. The foot traffic in and out of Tipton Police Department continued to be heavy. An hour after Boyd gave his information, Ashley Tittle came forward and told Taco that she was told by J.J. Reed that Balser was seen bleaching the bottom of her shoes. Tittle wasn't sure if Reed had witnessed Balser in the act or where the bleaching took place. The following morning, Tipton resident Pat Comer came forward to inform Taco that he had sold Debbie Neff a .38 caliber Taurus model 85 revolver 7 or 8 years prior. He was asked to retrieve the serial number of the gun if he could and return that information to the department. Then, Renetta Barney called Taco to confirm the information Melissa Chandler had provided the day before. Barney told Taco and Frowley that she saw a person dressed in all dark clothes, thin build, roughly 5'9" to 5'11" tall, with brownish hair running from a wooded area on the west side of a dirt pile behind Miller Mary's Manor at about 1 a.m. on October 3rd. The individual exited the woods and ran east along the wooded area, followed the curve north, at which time Barney lost sight of the subject. Barney had additional information. She informed Taco and Frowley that she also had a paper route and was delivering papers at about 6:30 or 7 p.m. on October 2nd in the area of the intersection of East and Armstrong Streets near where Tabi lived. Barney said she witnessed Tabi with a baby stroller walking with 2 or 3 boys who appeared to be roughly 19 to 20 years old. Barney could tell that Tabi was upset as she got closer. Tabi walked away from the other individuals traveling northbound. Barney then reported that she and Tabi's paths crossed, and Barney looked at the baby in the stroller. The two engaged in small talk regarding the baby, and Barney could tell that Tabi had been crying as mascara was running down her face. Barney then left and continued her paper route. On October 10th, a woman named Linda Moss, identifying herself as Balser's mother, called to inquire about Balser's car, for which the Tipton Police Department had obtained a search warrant and were still in possession of, due to the fact that the car wouldn't start. Taco informed Moss they would have the car towed back to her residence. Moss then went on to discuss Balser's involvement in the case and indicated that she could provide an alibi for Balser for the nights of October 2nd and 3rd. Moss reported that she had 2 ATM receipts from Key Bank in Kokomo and that Balser was with Randy Ramos, a friend of Moss, one of the times Ramos was at the machine. Taco instructed Moss to bring the receipts to the police station so that authorities could contact the bank in attempt to match up the timestamp on the receipts to the surveillance video at the ATM for those times. Taco then got into contact with Cheryl Sears, the branch manager of the Key Bank on East Hoffer Street in Kokomo, where the ATM transactions allegedly took place. Through the timestamps on the receipts, Sears was able to track down the video to coincide. Taco went to the branch to view the footage himself and noted that the 5:38 p.m. video seemed to show Balser in the passenger seat, but the 8:34 p.m. video showed only the passenger's legs. The tips and observances continued to pour in to investigators. On the morning of October 7th, Nancy Johnson came to visit Detective Stout to report odd activity she witnessed in the park on the night of October 2nd. Johnson stated that she and her husband, Wyatt Johnson, were walking in the park, and while in the area of the U-shaped drive, the two heard what they thought to be gunshots coming from the back of the park. The couple then observed a red 4-door vehicle with a male driver wearing a baseball cap exit the park in a hurry. A second vehicle that Johnson could only describe as white, gray, silver was observed coming from the shuffleboard area of the park, which is directly behind the pavilion at roughly the same time. Just a moment, I need a drink. On October 15th, Patty Luttrell came forward to report something that she thought was amiss. Luttrell was employed at Tipton Hospital, and on the night that she believed to be October 2nd, at about 10:50 or 10:55 p.m., while walking into work from the hospital parking lot, she observed a pickup truck, dark in color and newer looking, driving in the middle drive of the park thoroughfares in the back portion of the park. Luttrell reported that she heard yelling and shouting and then observed the truck exit back out of the drive on the south side. It was noted that there was no topper on the truck bed. That is the end of chapter 4. Thank you for joining us, and please leave any comments underneath the video if you have any questions or observances on what is happening in these chapters. Chapter 5 will be coming soon. Have a great night, and remember, justice matters.